I'm spending a fortune in time, effort, energy, and money into building for automation, not looking to break the bank. And we'll notice that, right? With Dragonfly, like if I pull up my drawdown right now, I think it's 3%, which I know isn't sexy. Okay, actually, it's 4%. I fibbed. But trading manually, I still love it. It's my passion. But if I can print an extra 5, 10, 20% a month, that's the goal, right? And that's what I want to start doing too, a little bit on the future side. So it's going to be a process, a lot of bugs and stuff in between, but that's kind of what we're working for and doing the most of behind the scenes. So with that in mind, we've got 5 minutes to opening bell. Miss Barbara, if you're here, can you check our hearts and then we'll get started?
Yes, I will. Good morning, everyone. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Father, we thank you, Lord, for your guidance. We thank you for your protection. We thank you, Lord, because your word says, Father, that if we seek first your kingdom, Lord, and your righteousness, that all things will be added to us, Father. And we just stand on your word today. We invite your Holy Spirit to just have your way. We thank you, Father, for all that you do. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right, guys, but that's it. We're just here to hang out. Ooh, I almost ended this meeting. Go me. Look at me. Killing it here today. Okay, so just looking for our trades. Obviously, you guys know the disclaimer, don't trade what you can't afford to lose. I'm still a pretty big advocate of your own capital. I have most of the mistakes I've made with prop firms. Uh, I struggle to say a lot. Some of them are on me. They definitely are. A lot of them are, but some of them are just trying to do too many prop firms, trade Sync or Ninja Trader, Replicanto, affordable trading tools, blah, 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 blah. So either way, there's a big opportunity here. And because there's so many of them popping up, they're getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Now, granted, $30 or $50 is still a lot if you're blowing it over and over again. So pick a couple, stick with them. Don't prop firm hop, no different than I would recommend many years ago. Don't um broker hop. Most of the time, it's not the broker. Not to say there's not shady things out there. There definitely are. Yes, we know Apex's rules are a little bit different than take profits, et cetera, et cetera. But pick a reputable one. Any of the ones in this link tree should be good. And stick with it. So that's what I've got there. You guys already know all that. Dragonfly is going good. It's actually been a pretty slow period for forex, but again, averaging those percents a month and no stress, no nonsense. So I've got up oil now, gold. Here, I nothing else is on except for pre-market high, yesterday high, pre-market low is now a little bit lower, and yesterday's low, right? So kind of naked chart. If we break below this most recent trend line, of course, I'd be targeting at least wick into this yesterday's closing price. Obviously, there's a ton of liquidity to the downside. We've got potential interest rate stuff going on this week, but we're going to trade what we see. We're looking for value. And honestly, I got chopped up yesterday for contract switches. I told myself a month or two ago when I was working with futures, I wasn't going to trade when they do contract switches, and I did. So please keep in mind some of this exuberant price action you're seeing is not necessarily what the math doesn't math. So it usually takes a few days for that all to kind of balance out in the way that we think it should. So kind of take that with a grain of salt if you must, and I definitely think you should. Um, We've got 2 minutes until opening bell. I'm prepping my off-screen trade evates. Let's go to NQ. So NQ, as you know, we're up. I had some pop up here from TradingView saying, hey, we're set for a higher open with hopes of interest rate cuts, right? Do we know that's going to happen? We don't know. Either way, we're definitely in a buying market, 100% upward trend. No way around that. There's prices going one direction, and that's up right now. Having said that, we have quite a bit on the table. So this is overnight, kind of just Fibonacci, just seeing we've already retested 50% of that price action overnight. So to come and push up and kind of complete that 100%, overnight, not a bad target. If we are to sell down, I needed to know the measured moves because above pivot points, above quarter points, I've always looked at areas of interest as my eyes see them best and measured moves. And that's just kind of how I see the market. It helps me kind of stay compartmentalized. So we're looking like we're pushing down a little bit pre-market open. I just wanted to have this on the screen. We've got yesterday's high, yesterday's closing price. We've got the 60, well, the starting. That's actually wrong. I have this upside down. I flipped it already once, twice. Now I'm going to flip it one more time just for giggles. We've got the 61% retracement overnight, right? We've got yesterday's closing price, and man, the market is tanking right now. We've got the 100% retracement overnight, just on overnight action, right? Then you've got the regular trading range. And remember, a lot of this is a little bit flunky because of the contract switches. But either way, we've got all the midnight opens, all of the closing prices. None of them have been touched in days. So I think if we are selling, which it looks like that's what we're doing right now, we're going to be targeting yesterday's closing price, 100% overnight range, 50% range. And there we go. There's that bounce. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the 2-minute time frame. I'm turning all this back on. There we go. So I have those levels there just so I can see them because I didn't want to not be paying attention to them. That those key levels are important to me. So we're still kind of respecting this. This is NQ 2-minute time frame. We're still respecting that low, that 50% kind of overnight. And it's not an exact price. I think if we're to break to the downside, I'm targeting yesterday's high, yesterday's closing price, and there's that break, man, and it's coming so strong. So strong. But we're going to be patient. We want this at least another minute left on this opening candle. Because just to show what we'd be looking for, if we can get that move to the downside, that's 40, 50, 70-ish points. Easy points. And we'd still be valid all the way up into like that 50%. So we're looking like we're trying to break out right now. We're below the VWAP. We got a JGS. We're below on the MACD. We've got all the reasons, but to sell the low is hard because we've already, it would have been better kind of taking it up here, but obviously it's opening bell. So take that with a grain of salt. I am going to be looking to enter here in a moment. Price is going to be going really fast. Actually, I'm going to make sure I'm in QZ just so I can see what's being mirrored. Had some issues overnight with the automation because we were mirroring the wrong contracts. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see them, why the prices were so off. That should have been a no-brainer because in theory, Pick My Trade should have contract switched properly, but they did not. So I'm still flat and we still wait. And I am looking. We're coming into this is overnight. And here we go. We're trying to break out. We also had like Tesla up, and we had quite a few like big time stocks that were up. And we've got interest rates this week. So 2-minute time frame, we're still respecting this range. We're respecting the overnight kind of pre-market low. We're getting below it. So we broke below and now we've retested. So that's not a bad confirmation if you're looking for that earlier entry. We've broke below pre-market low. We didn't stay below it. And now we're trying to get back below it. So let's see what we can get. Baby steps. Good morning. Good morning. Rosie is settled in Spain. Everything is kind of coming back to some sense of normal. I am back to soccer, wrestling, aka all the things, baking, bread, sourdough, all the things, that healthy balance painting. I've actually done some really good painting lately. Beautiful mountain ranges. Beautiful. And I went dancing this weekend. I had so much fun. So much fun. I needed to sign back up for this Latin dance class. So much fun. It was euphoric. Okay, we came below. Another 9 seconds left and looks like we're trying to close below pre-market pricing. So that's it. I'm looking to enter. Long contract again. My entry is not so great. I'm in. Can't unbe in. Although the price is literally missing on my... Gonna have to refresh. I don't know why that's being such a pain today. Keep that there. See if I can't refresh this. It should be much higher than that, but I think that's frozen. If it didn't already kick me out with the freeze. So looking to sell this. I don't need to give it much more than like, if the prices are closing above 50% of that range, I don't need to give it much more than that. I'd be looking to try to get a bigger portion of this move. We've already hit that. What is that? That's a 50% of that range. We've already hit that really smoothly. Only 13 points. But my entry is probably a little bit later too. And we're pushing back up now. We're below pre-market price. We kind of came into yesterday's high. We really need some follow through. And we wait. And that's all. I do want to take a look at gold. Gold popped up. Didn't even bother yesterday's closing price. Yes. Is pushing down more wicks to the upside. NYM. Ooh, strong push up. Trade still valid. Just waiting. This wick right here, kind of, and of course the moving average, I'd like to try to stay below this area. So no guarantees. I've got to get back to the right. Had to go find my price action because it was missing. It's trying. See if we can't get all the way down into here. But we've just filled, and it's so hard too because price action looks so different everywhere, and it's going to for a couple of days. In my opinion, I feel like it's just always a little bit off. Tapped into yesterday's high. We've got yesterday's closing price. Of course, we've got the contract switches. We're back in the drawdown. That fill should have been better, much better. Unless the price action is delayed. That's weird. It's probably just from having to refresh the broker, but we'll see. So my fill is awful. Awful, awful. That's probably because trade of 8 froze up. But now we wait. Boom. And that's it. We're just sitting. Trading doesn't have to be super, super all the things. Come on. Can't always win. Just got to follow the rules. And that fill was awful. Awful. Made a pretty big move up overnight. What is that? 2? I like how this candle's looking. That's 20 points down into this range. So let's see. We've got 30 seconds left on this 5-minute candle and we're just waiting. It's weird because before I had to hit refresh on this browser, that entry should have been much higher up, like literally way all the way up here. But we wait. I am in a sell on MES on my AMP using cool trading tools because the 15-minute looked beautiful. I know I can swing that. I know I can kind of hold on to that. I'm up, I don't know how many points. Not a whole bunch of points, 7 points on that sell on MES. If I can just find a way to like properly mirror all of these accounts to where I can just take my one trade and I can do it from Trade Locker and MT5 and all the things, life would be in trade of 8 with no issues. Life would be so smooth. But we're still working on that. Don't worry, I've paid the piper testing every single thing that works, doesn't work, all the strengths, all the weaknesses, and eventually I'm going to have that answer for you. That cell looks good. This is going to cover automatically with the management here shortly. If not, I'm going to cover. I'm up 10 points on MES. Well, actually, yeah, it's ES technically. That's another thing too. As we build out for automation, guys, what we're noticing, we're finding all the things. So remember, these minis are more heavily traded, so the fill prices are more favorable. So some of the differences and the variations that I was seeing I couldn't quite quantify, but the fill prices on MNQ or MES as opposed to NQ are different. And they're at times different enough, especially in low volume times, that it'll hurt. Like it'll catch up quick. And of course, the fees are slightly higher. Not enough to that I think is worth super talking about unless you're taking a whole bunch of trades. But that the fact that these are not as heavily traded, if you're taking stuff based off of price action, and there's nothing happening in that window, then of course, like your fill is going to be not as favorable, not at all. There's a bit of a lag, and that makes a big difference. Well, that's stupid. Pushing up again. But I like where MES is sitting. I like where NQ is sitting. So just holding through it. Holy cow. So super smooth on YM, super smooth on ES. NQ is just doing this though. That's awesome. Awesome sauce. And gold is up. Sitting in drawdown, trying to be patient. As we come, that was up technically, what is that? That's 10 points because we were up $200. So 10 points even from my not favorable fill. But we'll see. We'll see if we can't get this to finish its move. We got nothing. Watch us push back up for a hot minute before we tap into this. I think even just into that. Granted, my fill is more here. That's still 20 points. But we'll see. I've got coffee again, doing all the things. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Melissa. How are you? We like how this candle's forming, but just not any follow through. Fifty seconds left on this 2-minute candles, and we're officially into our second 15-minute candle. Thank you for coming. How long you been trading? There we go. I'm happy with that. Probably closed around 13 points. I can handle that. Could I get back in? Yeah, but this account I'm mirroring to too many things. So I want my quick, easy, painless trade. Painless. That's the goal. This is a different count that was only mirrored to micros, as you can see. So there's that trade. I'm gonna look. That was a beautiful little flag. We didn't come back into here. And that's why I closed. That right there, that's enough. I can't take credit for that. That was just my automation. We like that beautiful move. Can we re-enter this? Absolutely. Especially you can wait till you get back below here. Either way, that's an easy, healthy. I'm going to change my settings to be scaling me out at 5 points. So at 5 points, this is going to scale me out because from where price is sitting all the way down into here, that's only 15 points. So we've got a really safe, even if you kind of have a weaker entry or if it pops back up a little bit, I know I can easily get that 5 points and not have to worry or stress too much. Would have been better if my entry was here. October. Okay, so you're pretty new. That's awesome. You're new. Good morning, Robert. Right now, this 5-minute chart is just, we've got 2 minutes left, and this spring is just potentially going to push us up back into this imbalance, back into kind of retest. ES, of course, and Q.
Good morning. It's possible we may get some just moving around that's not really having one biased direction until tomorrow. But we'll see.
I don't know, because look how much we moved overnight, though, the last few days. Here, go to the YM.
Well, um, yeah, definitely. It's been on the upside. They may be trying to price in what they're expecting for the FOMC. But typically, like the day prior, even on the FOMC, sometimes it can be a little bit choppy, and then continue on whichever trend that is going. So again, a lot of that may have been the pricing going into it, but we'll definitely see. And then also what your that Tesla that you had mentioned, and also some like Nasdaq and Q push. Elon purchased about $1 billion worth of shares, so that definitely affected the upward spike.
It did. It pushed it hard. We moved 400 points already on the week. It's like the weekly ADR, the weekly range, you guys, is really big already. Today's Tuesday. We've already up 400 points, only 2%, but that's still 400 points by Tuesday morning. It's still a lot. Still sitting in drawdown. I can give it here, that kind of 73. we're here, because the reality is once we break this candle, we're coming up anyways, and I'm not going to hold it for that other points, guys. Big picture, not scalping wise, I'm still up, I don't know, 5, 6 points ish on my ES for my AMP, my live account. But I'm gonna hold that and kind of hold through all the moves. I'm not yet locked because it's too close to lock and it's New York Open, but big picture, not the scalp. This can pull back up as long as we're not breaking this high and closing above, like think close above this high, retest and continue. I'm still looking for just those short-term sells. I think we've got overnight. So this is our overnight. That's just a one retracement. Oh man, did I delete it? I think I did. So this is yesterday's to kind of come all the way into here. Well, we're giving them back now. That's the 24,480s. Plus we had the contract switches. So a lot of people are coming to the chart. They're seeing these new numbers, which are hundreds of points higher than what they were looking to see this morning. I'd like to see us. Oh, it just moved so fast it knocked me out. Well, I'm glad I had my stop there. So in total, I don't know how many points it is, 59 to 39, so 10 points. Is that right? 49 to 39, about 10 points. That's why on Trade Evade I have up that automatic management stuff, just so it can kind of knock me out. It can manage me if something like this happens quickly, because this big old candle happens quickly and I'll lose my funded accounts. If I was trading micros, I would just want to kind of stay in this whole move to the downside. Now I'm up 15 points on ES. So anyways, this trade is still valid all the way. I would be targeting easily kind of into here. It's almost a 100-point move. If you're trading micros, by all means. If you have room on your account, by all means. If not, get your 5, 10, 20 points over and over again. And just, that has been the way, that has been the saving grace. The saving grace by far. $486. That was where I'm targeting. Yes, beautiful. 15-minute time frame. It just looked really good this morning. We had kind of a perfect clean JGS pre-market. We retested, so it was somewhere in here this morning. I got back from my walk. I liked how this candle was looking. Granted, on those charts, I don't have the VWAP. So somewhere in this candle, that's where I was entering. This candle, that wick hadn't happened yet. Kind of letting this with an ATR cushion and targeting kind of those lows. So overall, beautiful move. You can hold it differently on your own account. And the 15-minute range, you're officially outside of that on NQ. You are outside, you're good. You've officially came into yesterday's closing price. This is 15-minute time frame. You have 6 minutes. I would look to see it kind of wick at least into here, that 519 area, push back up before we get that move that kind of continues down. If we're managing to stay below the 480s, I would look for the retest back up into yesterday's closing price to sell down more. And beautiful. Did anybody take any of those, any of the well, NQ particularly? I took 2 entries. One of them mirrored on all accounts. So this account has MNQ, and that's our MNQ trade, and this is our NQ trade. So I don't mind doing that on one account. Every single thing, all the accounts took this position. And then easy, done. Not a bad way to be. Not at all. Let's see. Came in yesterday's closing price. Perfect. We get news at 10 o'clock. That was a nice little 18-point bounce. 18 points. That's it. We got it. We got what we needed out of the market. I know, especially compared to where I'm coming from, where it was coming from, it doesn't look like much, but we don't need a whole bunch more than that. What we need is, if your goal is to get your payouts, and that now is a good time to pull this up. We have a few more bugs and tweaks to work out in terms of the automation. Last night did not close in profit, and I couldn't see the contracts. I think it had stuff to do with number one, the over opening, and number two, the contracts, which is fine. You're not going to close in profit every day. But let me pull this up for a second. Beautiful. Remember, if you made, so to kind of give us an idea, that in total was $400 on the main account, okay, and much less on all the smaller accounts. I don't know what that is, maybe 120. Hold on, go to a different tab. 120. I know it's 120 something. Just by the math for how many micros it is. But it's got a load. So it give or take 120 something, $129 on all the other accounts. Look, that's all this is. If you have that on 5 accounts, assuming you have 5 winning days at $100, that's how much you're making in a year. And that's factoring in stuff for like fees, taxes, profit splits, et cetera. Assuming, X amount of days have not traded per year, that is not bad. Now, granted, figure maybe you have 1 losing day a week, which equals you technically have 3 profitable days, because 1 losing day undoes 1 winning day, provided it's not tilt. That's still 6 figures in 20 minutes or less. 6 figures in 20 minutes or less, and that's not bad. That's the goal. Obviously, some of you guys have bigger aspirations. You're scaling up. You're going for something like this. This is great, and it's definitely achievable, but it's only achievable if we can not go on tilt, if we cannot break their consistency rules, if we cannot bend all the things that can't be bent. So baby steps, baby steps for sure. That's the goal. This is what you have the potential to be making. So figure your contract sizes if you're trying to risk available drawdown. So if your available drawdown is $500 and you're risking, how did I build this? Loss per trade, $40 per trade, which you can't even really do that per se. That's all you need. And these are micros or minis. Like, seriously, it helps you kind of figure out all of that stuff. So I'm really excited to kind of share this with you guys, just to help people who don't have big accounts or don't have big buffers, or not YOLO their $400. Oh, I only have $400 left in this account. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to YOLO it. No, how about you trade it like you actually need to keep it and practice it? So, but that's it. That is all I've got. Who's got questions, comments, or instruments you guys want to go look at? I believe we have.
No, that's a oh well, since you brought that up, that's a very good point. I use myself as an example. One of my take profit accounts, I've blown a plethora of them, right? Um, as I know a lot of us probably have in the process, but on some of my more recent ones, there was one I had like almost like 1,600 in drawdown. A lot of it was from either taking a loss or sometimes just a mechanical issue. Like maybe you tapped on a button more than once, right? And you were in more contracts than you were anticipating. As opposed to closing it out and calling it a mistake, you try to hold it, and sometimes it goes against you, right? Anyway, long story short, is the account was down about 1,600 or 16 to 1,700 in drawdown, so it was about $300 from blowing the account. Went back and just lowered my contract sizes and traded it. Sort of what helped me mentally as well is that because of that one account being down, that I didn't want to go tilt on that. I did add an additional account and already have some additional accounts that were a fresh start copy trading. I used my main account, the account that was in drawdown, as the main account that I was following or mirroring the other accounts, and then I was able to get it back into 300 plus in equity, just taking those small base hits not over trading and whatnot. And then, some days you won bigger, and then the ones that you lost, instead of going back in there and trying to chase it, just count the small loss a loss. Or if the market is just choppy today, just leaving the day alone and, trying to pick up the next. So again, I guess my main point is if we go back to treating it like a business, because we don't have to pass the accounts right away. It depends where you are, right? Like if, and if you have a strategy as far as to the madness and you're not trying to stay in the actual valuations for a long time, as long as it's a plan and it makes sense, then that's cool. But again, if you are trying to do this for the long term and trying to maintain the accounts that are funded, then, this is a profession, and just trade it, take the basis like Janie is saying and what she's showing on this compound sheet, and it's going to add up over time. And the more accounts that you have, eventually you're going to be making thousands a day, and then those small moves are going to make you all the money that you need for the week.
Oh, 100%. Actually, you brought up something that I'm not gonna lie, I know I need to do is take the smallest account, the account that has the least buffer, and use that as my mirror versus the big one trying to mirror it, the rest to micros. But if I traded it that way, and it's something I've considered, I'm not going to fib to you and say I've implemented it because I haven't, but literally take whatever your smallest account is and use that as the one you're trading, mirroring everything else to that. You're definitely not going to blow the other ones, are you? So even if this one does mess up and you couldn't save it, you still have every other account, right? That strategy I think is sound. I think it's responsible, and I also think it teaches us so much discipline. Like so much discipline. In a world where we've got 24-hour trading, 24-hour access to just never ending, you know, dopamine, and or it's really just distraction. Like it's something to do. It's something to feel productive, right? We humans are wired to feel productive, even if you don't think so. You are wired to feel like you're accomplishing something. So win, lose, or draw, believe it or not, clicking that button makes you feel productive. It makes you feel like you're doing something. You're actioning towards your goals. Which clicking the button doesn't necessarily equal actioning towards your goals, but it does fulfill that mental and emotional, psychological need. So honestly, sorry, that's like two different things all in one. I think that's huge. Trade your smallest account and mirror to your bigger ones. Then you definitely are going to keep your bigger ones, number one. And number two, back off, a couple trades a day. Take the most successful people that you know. Most of them are not taking a bajillion trades a day. Most of them do not have 8,000 entries and 8,000 whatever. They have a couple of entries in a day. They win, lose, or draw. They're up or down, and then they go on with their life. And that's it. That is all. And I know that's not sexy. It's not, trading isn't sexy. It's so much fun to talk about, oh, I made 100%. Yeah. But that's usually over the course of a period of time. If you just look at your automation, you look at your whatever, okay, cool. I'm up, 500 on this week and I didn't have to work for that. Cool. Hey, I'm up $1,000 on this week. I didn't have to work for that. It was a struggle. We had ups and downs. It really didn't make much. It made $30 or something. That's still not bad because I don't know where else you guys are going to find a way to make $500 on the week without doing something. But if you find out, let me know because I'm probably in. I'm probably in. I'm 100% into anything we can do hands free and then also being more disciplined manually. So. But here we go. We're trying to roll back over again. But this is what I'm working on. We got our profits on the day. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to stick with kind of mirroring between all the prop firms. I just think it's great. You can have a month that's mostly green. And then of course you can have 1 or 2 months that you're, wrong or you were losing. That's fine. And those are digestible. But the problem with the mirroring big time is if something glitches, you've got your green days, you've got your, 2 or 3 or 4 personal that you took losses days, and then you have 2 or 3 or 4 the system took losses days. And usually that's a little bit more of a cost than you can afford with all the different stuff. So I'm gonna see, my next thing I'm gonna try probably is just mirroring micros to micros and doing it that way, which might help. Versus minis to micros, which I think is causing a certain level of complexity that I think that part at least would be digestibly fixed. So we'll see. We'll see. NQ is pushing back up a little bit. This is the 2-minute time frame. We've come down into yesterday's closing price, which is exactly where we wanted it. Bare minimum is just into yesterday's closing price. That was an easy target. We've hit at least, I don't know how many that is. That's probably two, maybe three targets. give or take. Let's do 25.
That's what you're talking about a minute ago. That's why I'm back testing every hour individually to figure out which time periods will, in theory, be the best ones to trade and only trade on one or two of them per day and stick with that.
That picture that Hub posted was super helpful because what we saw, I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice
where I had those 3 or 4 arrows in a row or like
here.
in one
Yeah,
spot. Yeah.
right here. That's the glitch we're trying to fix. I personally think it has to do with I'm guessing
I haven't seen that yet.
you haven't seen that at all, not once.
Not yet, no. And like I said, I'm screen recording all of my trades. So if you or the developer want to review any of them or anything like that later on, I'm putting them on Google Drive. But I haven't seen that happen yet with
Hey,
multiple errors like that.
are you working right now?
You mean working?
Yeah. Like, can I see your
In theory, I mean, I'm logged in and doing stuff, but I'm not actually doing anything at the moment.
let me see if you're able to screen share. Let me see your alert you created because I want to compare it to what Hub created or even what I have because I think my theory is he created it with alerts and function calls, like orders and function calls, and that's what caused that.
May have. And actually, I was going to ask you to do something a bit later, with the strategy test. I want to make sure I'm doing things correctly. Let me go to screen share here.
All right, cool. Well, you guys hang out. Let's talk automation. That's where we're headed toward as a company. If I can help you guys print, let's just say a couple thousand. Now, granted, it's more than that, but we got to start somewhere. A couple thousand to get to what was that? 6 figures a year? Okay. 200,000. I can get us to easily here and here. Okay, easily. You're talking $250,000 a year. That's based off of not a perfect win streak, nothing. Okay. Easy, easy peasy.
Or you can let me know when to screen share. I'll be ready.
Okay, you're ready. Go ahead. You're the boss.
I'm the boss. Or if I'm the boss, we're all in trouble.
Hey, I'm on here, and that thing I've made it with order fills only.
Did
If
you?
that's where you're talking about.
Yeah, here we go. I guess
Mine's,
you can see this.
I think mine is orders only too, but there's something that his is set up. Um, so yours are orders fills only.
Yeah.
Okay. So are mine.
And I remind everybody if they do, or actually anytime you do this, if you make any kind of change in the settings, it doesn't matter how minute, I recreate the alert.
Yeah, always 100%.
Well,
Okay.
I have to every time, like I change the times, or it won't restart unless I delete the alert and create a
Yeah.
new one.
Yeah,
So
I do
you've
that.
got orders
Go ahead.
only. Go to the next tab real quick.
It's pretty straightforward.
It super is. Okay, let's go to notifications.
There's my URL, I mean my webhook and all that stuff.
All right. Show last notification. That's not super relevant. All right, let's go to your settings.
Here, all the actual settings.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go up here. And that's something else I actually mentioned. I don't know if you listened to the audio file yet. Something I found out yesterday, and it's why my trades they were only lasting a few seconds. And this is another reason I wanted you to go over the strategy tester, make sure I'm doing everything right. What do you want to see on here first?
Um, so use exchange time going down to none of that stuff really matters. So you don't have activate breakout trades on.
No, not yet. I haven't back tested any of it.
And you don't have trade on candle close on because my trade on candle close is on.
That's one of the many things I was going to ask about.
Huh.
I have trade on candle close and 50% profit margin.
And I have 50% stop loss.
Because I back
No,
tested with this on and off. Uh, the best back tests I found are about the same as far as the setting, but this affects the actual trade. So that's what I was going to ask about.
Hold on, let me get my annotate out. So
Okay.
remember, there's a couple things we're still working on, but I'm going to send this to the developer as well. So trade on candle close, which we thought was working well, I don't think is. Because again, and John's too. John, yours is trade on candle close too.
Yeah.
I think that could be the difference then.
Now,
If it's
actually,
not,
I've noticed something too, Jenny. I don't know if does that affect the entries and the exits?
no, and I'll show you where that is. So let me go pull up.
Because I noticed on my entries, whenever it alerts, it's always right on like 8:05, 8:10, 8:15. Like it's, even though I have it turned off, it's not actually doing entry until like when it hits the 5 minute mark.
So trade on candle, I'm just taking notes, guys. So trade on candle
Okay.
close, um, is busted, we think. Okay. Um, the reason why is because that this alone should make it to where we're not getting those things. And John and I have this turned on and we're getting those repeat orders. You have it turned off and you're not. So
Right.
it's interesting. I
I could
also,
test it. I could test it on a few, see what it does. But
no, it's okay. It's okay. These are the ones that I have marked on mine, just so you know. Um, so again, we're testing things, but real quick, go down a little bit further.
oh, what I forgot to mention, here it seems like 3 or 4 or above has no change on back tests. I just like left it wide open.
Okay. I'd probably keep it at, scroll back up actually. We're going to be changing this verbiage to risk to reward. And the reason why is because right now that's technically how it's calculated. It's not necessarily when it hits that line, it's from entry. If the zone is 20 points back, your target is, 20 points or 40 points or 60 points, respectively to what you have here. So that's technically how it's written. We're going to change the verbiage there just so it matches what it's actually doing. But scroll down real quick. Max trades per session is 2. Do you feel like it's honoring that max trades per session?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. I'm guessing it's the candle close feature then. Um, ATR trailing. Gotcha. All right, cool. Your
Oh,
question you
that's
asked.
something I want to mention. When you're back testing this is something I noticed yesterday. I don't think is anything developer can change. I think is like has to do with trading view. When you back test these, I back test on like in this case, my back test and I'm keeping this big spreadsheet. You guys should see this mess. It's 0.052. And that's why my trades were only lasting a few seconds. I found it's off by a multiple of 10. When I back test, it's 0.052, but when I live trade it, it has to be 0.52. Because obviously 0.052 is not going to last very long on a live trade.
Well, figure this is what is this gold? That
Yeah,
ATR is really small, but it's also $100 on per.
yeah. Or maybe it has something to do with this up here, the
So
way it's calculated.
going, remember this is all open candle theory, so that's why
Yeah,
those results are amazing. So again, I think we have something really incredible. There's still some bugs and things to tweak out, but if price has moved this much, it's activating no matter what. So it's going to knock you out the second it comes back, and it just keeps moving up with you. How it
right.
was built in the version, so version 1, this is something that's different from version 1 versus version 2, is it, let's see if I can draw. Okay, here's your range. Okay, I'm going to use a different candle color, and your candle breaks out. Okay, instead of it starting, it started immediately basically. So the trail started now, okay, from the time of entry by X amount of points back. That's how it was written. Now it starts after you have moved, okay, this amount, does it start to trail? So that's one fix that we have in there right now. But back to your candle close topic, if you go to properties,
Properties.
scroll down, and this is the other thing I have clicked. I have my bar close on. This is going to impact your exits more than anything. And it's also going to
Okay,
impact that strategy tester. So once it's all the bugs are out, this is only going to impact the exits. Currently, I personally think it impacts both, but we're working on it. So again, we needed that data. Right now, mine is turned on, And believe it or not, that's probably the best back test data we have is with that turned on. But that should, in theory, if it's working the way it's supposed to work, that should only manage exits. So figure the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's say that this candle has an enormous wick. The weakness is if it's only on bar close, instead of it continuing to trail up and then it knocks you out here. If it's only on candle close on that exit, it's going to knock you out here because that trail has activated, and then it's only when the candle closes. But on the flip side, if this is edging around, okay,
I guess you just saw that.
yep,
That's my 10 o'clock setup. It just entered something.
cool.
Hey, everybody got to see it work live. How about that?
Oh, look at that, baby steps. But thank you for sharing. I'm gonna update the bar close because again, mine is set yes to here and yes in the other place, and I'm getting the repeat order. So was John. I thought maybe it was the orders only. It's not on my end, so we're just getting through whatever we need to get through. Because go to your strategy tester real quick. I don't know what settings you've got on right now, but
I was gonna say, now, did you say this affects entries or exits
uh,
on the properties?
when it's working the way it's supposed to, that's gonna affect your exits only.
Okay. And
But
then this one over here affects the entries, I assume. Or is
yes.
it? Okay.
Although right now I don't think that's functioning right based off of what John and I are experiencing.
So in theory, when we do the strategy tester, those should be selected, both of them.
No, no, because
Oh,
whatever. Well, here, go to yours real quick. Just go to update report with whatever you have clicked right now. So we didn't change anything. I want to see what your report looks
oh,
like without having
oh,
changed.
it's gonna be horrible because the see it'll go down because the decimal place. I'd have to change it back to 0.052 for it to be actually.
Well, that's not, no, these results are not bad. Okay. So here, again, all we're looking for is a one here. Okay. Is it like the most sexy one we've ever shown? No, but that's okay. We're not trying to long term get the most sexy one. We're trying to get the best results. You've
And that
got,
was another question too. Should I back test it like it's set now instead of 0.052 is test it with what we're actually using
so wait, you're using a 52 ATR trail?
0.52 on
Uh,
this one.
All right, go to the trail. Tell me what let's
But
look at what you want to change.
but you have to remember I also tested it on 0.052. I haven't actually back tested the actual 0.52, which is something I mean that's one of my questions I was wanting to ask. Just set on 0.52. The big win I got yesterday at 9 o'clock, I just randomly, this is why I was trying to figure out this math. I randomly just moved to 0.75 and I made 300 some bucks, but that was also a big pump as well. So
Well, so remember, because we're trying to get this for prop firms, I have some ways we can optimize this big picture. And like I told you in your manual trading, those one out of every 10, excuse me, one out of every 20, okay, 10 to 20, you're going to get that nice run. Let's be honest, that's it. The few times you're going to get break even, other times you're going to have a loss, and then you're going to have those 1-to-1 wins, that 0.5 wins, okay? But because
yeah,
we're doing this on a prop firm, because we care so much about our open drawdown, our open P&L, all of the in and out, consistency stuff, all we care about are base hits. All we care about are when we're up, can we close with money? Okay. If we're up, close with money. If we're down, we close quickly in negative. Okay. We
yeah,
don't want this range between these two to be huge because then again a winning account is a losing account, and that's just, to me, that's psychologically damaging. Like that is damaging to my psyche. No way around it. So again, remember, just logic tells us a 0.5 to 1 is hard to trade that way. But let's be honest, you are 50 to, 2 times more likely to hit this than this, even if the strategy is bad, right?
yeah.
So of course you're going to have really great, accurate win rate accuracy, which is here if you have something like this. And that's all we're trying to do. So even if our take profits are smaller, okay, so if you go to hit OK,
You okay here?
yep, hit OK, go to list of trades. I don't know if you have fees built in, but $72,
I don't at the
10.
moment.
So your max loss on this is $100, is that right?
86.94, 103. I'm just gonna scroll through. Seems like it's around 100
Yeah.
ish. at the most so far. Yeah.
So you can see you have the baby wins, the break even wins, the base hits, base hits, and then you have this one that's a 1-to-1. But net positive, if you go back to overview, all we care about is this is bigger than this, okay? That this, so based off of your settings, doesn't exceed whatever your prop firm daily loss limit, max loss limit is, because remember, daily loss limit is different than max loss limit. We care
Yep.
that this is better than 1. We care that this is better than, honestly, even 40%, but 60% is kind of where I'm targeting big picture stuff. But now that you've showed me yours, let me show you mine. And again, I haven't optimized this. I haven't even played with this today at all. But let's go. I'm going to go to my strategy tester.
And I did research profit factor when you're doing these is the most important thing. And I think they said this was second, but I mainly focus. This is what I sort it by once I'm done.
Can you repeat that for me?
I read online with TradingView, profit factor is the number one thing to look at. They
Yes,
say this is second, but when on my spreadsheet, when I sort it by this.
that I.
I don't sort by percentage.
All right, let me show you mine real quick. So I'm going to go to replace mine. Hold on.
I don't know where you went. Hold on. There you are.
Okay. So again, this is not like going to cherry pick. Obviously, this is higher. I really would love, like, my dream is to keep this at a 2 or 3 or 4. Now, that's a dream. We all know that with automation, that's very, very unlikely in the big picture long term. So we love how this is many multiples higher than this, but granted, this is risking more. So these numbers are based off of how much I'm typing into risk. Yours would be higher too if you were risking more than whatever it is you have
Right.
typed in
Yeah.
there. So, but this,
I've got mine set on auto sizing right now.
yeah, mine too. So, but my risk is probably higher than your auto sizing is. So my auto,
Oh yeah, I think my risk is like only 100. So
yeah, there you go. I'm gonna do 250. Um, this has 5 sessions. I'm gonna take off. I like the breakout trades. I'm gonna take off candle close. So the only thing I'm gonna take out is the candle close just to go see. That's really tight, and this is really small on purpose because again, I just want to trail it quick. Contract filter, this is not working. And that's why it's set to 1 right now, is because it's not working.
but you haven't back tested any of this yet, have you?
I'm sorry?
You haven't back tested this. Or you're on NAS anyway, it's different. Never mind.
Oh, I couldn't do this here anyways. I'm gonna have to go to MNQ because it won't take any trades on NQ. But to kind of, so obviously this is much smaller, but in relationship to this, that's fine, right? This is really high. This is a very short data set. So I'm gonna go to 90 days just to kind of increase that a little bit.
I did mine for a year.
Well, I would, but we're live. The years
Yeah.
too. So again, we're risking 250 per trade on MNQ. These are overnight. I love this. So the potential here is good. Now, granted, the only big thing I changed is the trade on candle close. So I like the breakout trades. I'm going to change this real quick. We know that that's not working, so that's stupid.
Yeah, if I selected breakout trades, I probably have to move my 2 trades per session higher. Maybe not.
Oh, this is also the 2 minute. 2 minute doesn't report nearly as well. Oh, there you go. So what did we change? Oh, the stop loss. So by moving my stop loss in, we decreased our accuracy.
Uh,
Update, hold on. But we decreased our accuracy and actually increased our max drawdown too, which is kind of stupid.
what hours do you have that set for?
This is the same ones we talked about. 20,
Okay. Oh,
no,
okay. There we
5,
go.
actually. This is
You
two
get
hours
okay.
apart, overnight action. I wanted to really like midnight, but when I've tried midnight, I haven't really liked it thus far. But yeah, this is what we're working towards. So what was I gonna say? Totally forgot. Totally forgot. Zone buffer, 50%. Activate breakout trades. Also, you have yours set to less trades per session.
2,
So
yeah.
yeah, this is going to make a big difference
That's
too.
what I was going to ask. If I activate oh my God, my brain's locked up right now. Not reversal. If I see it, I'll know it. Um,
So there you go. I
I
got
forgot the word.
that's okay. That's okay.
Wait a minute, there it is. Go back up. If I activate the breakout retest trades, I'd have to increase the number per session.
Not necessarily. So you can only take retest trades, but remember sometimes we don't retest. So
Yeah.
let's update this real quick.
And since I need to restart my back testing anyway, maybe I'll add another column on my spreadsheet to for activate, you know, to differentiate between activate that or not activate that and see how it differs.
I don't think by report it doesn't, there's no data here, but I don't think by report that does a good job anyways. So I'm taking that off. There you go. We like that. This is really tight. And this is also another thing that's missing with your accuracy too. So you can see by data. Here's where we're sitting. Watch. So we're at 90% accuracy with a 3%, well, a 3 profit factor. That's awesome. This right here is many multiples higher. I like that a lot. Many multiples higher, ideally speaking. This is over 90 days.
Yeah, if you saw my spreadsheet, I've got it down to where, like in your case, you got 0.2. I've got it at 0.21, 0.22, 0.23,
Well,
just looking at all of those.
that's probably excessive. Like you could probably do, at the most, so 1 decimal off. So do test 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Or if you really want to be extra, you can do 0.25, 0.3, 0.35, like in that kind of increment. Otherwise, it's just vastly too much. But now watch. Here's our results right now. If I make this, because this is what I wanted it to be at, was 1. And I think it has to do with that trail and how it's built on Trading View. But I put it at 1 ATR, which makes sense for how we trade manually. But look at that.
Yeah. And Hub said he was using 1 on his.
1 is this side too low.
But I don't think I want to use the same thing on because all the time periods are different. They vary. They don't vary. Well, it's like what I've seen between like 7 a.m., 10 a.m. It doesn't vary a lot. But when you go between say 9 a.m. and 8 p.m., there is a bigger difference from what I've seen in back tests because it's a different time of day, different volume too.
So, I mean, what should it be set on?
So you see that result with the 1 ATR?
Me, I'm listening to you on my phone, so I can't.
Here, just so you know, verbally, the 1 ATR has a negative result. So
Yeah.
not a
I don't.
viable.
I was gonna say I don't think there is a 1 to cover everything because all the periods will be different
Well,
depending on
no,
volume.
well, no, Robert, I think that we would land on 1 or 2 based off of the kind of the time frame and the strategy that you're trading. So if you're trading a 30-minute New York Open, that's obviously different than if you're trying to catch the baby moves on the 5-minute, for example. So
Yeah.
Maybe I'm talking about something different. The enable ATR trailing stop.
yeah, so this would Robert, not Robert, but John, what I would put here is I would probably put a 0.2 or 0.5 and then to test it out. So mine is set to 0.2. Mine is set
Okay.
very tight.
Well, mine's been set at 1 and I'm losing.
But
Yeah.
you saw it's probably saw why just now. So
Yeah, the 1 is too high. So 1, like maybe we should put a filter on that, but I don't want to. So even if I
Okay.
test 0.05, I don't even think 0.05 tests well enough
Okay.
in
And
comparison.
then the other thing would be the take profit area.
Take profit area. I don't have mine set at 8. Remember, we're really not hitting this. I've set mine at
Oh,
4.
mine's set at 1.
oh yeah, that's what I put my way out there because I just wanted everything to move as much as it wanted to while I was watching things work.
I
So,
have mine set to 3 or 4 because I want to capture that move when possible because that's a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 depending on whatever settings you're using.
okay.
4 is good on that. But the biggest thing that's probably creating your negative results, because even a 0.5 ATR. This is still net profitable. Okay. This is net profitable, net positive profit factor, and net, it's a 75% accuracy potentially as we test the features. The little features and the functions are still what we're kind of tweaking and fixing. But personally, I have mine set to like a 0.2, even a 0.25 is kind of where I would probably end up landing. And that's what I have running right now. And other than the repeat orders, it's really good.
Okay. So I moved it to the take profit area to 4 and the other one to where'd it go?
0.25.
Was that mine again?
0.25.
Yeah.
Okay. And then turn off trade on candle close
Yeah.
and turn off 50% profit margin.
I'm gonna keep that on. I don't think that's at all a problem.
Okay.
Oh,
And the rest of the boxes are off.
Yep.
yeah,
And then
that's fine.
just to ensure, make sure when you go to properties, you don't have it checked there as well.
I said another trade entry, by the way.
Calculate on every tick. No, the only thing I have clicked is after order is filled and on every tick.
Miss
Robert,
Jenny,
yes, sir.
uh, the I believe there was a video you sent out yesterday over the automation. Is
Mm-hmm.
that what did that walk us through what we're going over right now? Was that kind of some of the settings?
If it's in the automations channel, yes. But right now,
Okay,
we're in beta mode. Hold on, let me go to the participants. We're in beta mode. So again, I labeled
right.
test on purpose because some of the functions aren't functioning as defined like we want.
Well, I was just curious because I'm not savviest, but I watch the video. I'm trying to set it up, just kind of what you guys are doing now.
Oh, perfect. Here's the deal.
So I can try to get involved.
If you can watch this video, even this one, or the one that was most recently posted, remember,
Okay.
and I'll just go through this real quick. For testing, you want this a lot of data. Once we have the data,
Right.
we can turn that down. But for testing, this is, we're trying to see as much as possible. Line range is going to determine how long we're tracking that zone for. So in my opinion, less is probably more. Okay. Now you're going to get less trades, but you're going to get better quality trades because remember, we're trying to take the volume of the opening price at the time that we have set down here. Okay. And then you can kind of come back in. I don't know why we disconnected, but these are just some test hours that I can test overnight and I'm not messing them up. Um, One thing that I have learned is try to keep the ranges at least an hour or two apart, preferably two, because I feel like the 1 hour part is too close. And that's what I was doing before. So these are at least 2 hours apart. This is your time zone. What else?
Marcos. Okay.
This right
Well,
is just visual stuff. You don't need to worry about really any of that. It's all visual. And then now onto the settings. One thing I know for sure, or I'm reasonably sure, is that this function is not working properly. In fact, it was inhibiting certain things. The trade on candle close. So keep this turned off until we get word from the developer that it's fine. And that was probably this most recent fix because we tested on the other one, it was fine. But now I can't figure out why I broke something. So keep that off. This right here is all stuff that you can test. The math is where we're improving the math for every one of these things. All this does is limit the range for your take profits or your stop loss. You're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Remember, I'll show you what we're looking for down here in a second, but the whole idea is to test. In testing, the buffer doesn't make a significant difference, and that's what I've found. Having it does help, but it doesn't make a statistically significant difference. So for me, because of how I trade as a trader, I like to have it turned on because it's more aligned with how I trade, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you. Take profit area as we get all the tweaks out, I'm excited to put this like at 5, kind of trying to target that 3 to 1 when it presents, right? Or 6 even. But for now, I kind of have mine set at 3 or 4, and 50%. So figure that's a 1.5 to 1 trade. Not leaving a lot of room, but to be fair, we're not really hitting this anyways. Okay. Not right now anyways, because right now everything is trailing even when this is disabled. What else? For testing, you need this to be a lot. Otherwise, you're going to run into problems there. So I had mine set to 20. I'm going to set this now back down to 4 per session. That none of these functions are functioning. Well, sorry, this is a shameful video, but we don't know what we don't know until we fix, tweak, and then some of it works, some of it doesn't. In this most recent version, none of this stuff is activating as it should. So, not a big deal how you have it set, but definitely something to be mindful of in the future. This right here is super important because if you turn this off, it's just going to take whatever amount of contracts you have set to here. So one contract, for example, that's how many it's going to take. If you have it turned to on, okay, this properties tab, it's going to be using a calculation based off of the risk that you have predefined. So for testing, because remember, Pick My Trades has a $20 cost, okay? There's a spreadsheet in the automation channel. There's a instruction step by step that tells you how to do it. And it'll give you the link for Pick My Trades, all the links for the broker, the Tradeabate accounts, blah, blah, blah. Please use those links. But anyways, I would highly recommend you start pretty small. It can't be so small it's like 20 or 50 bucks because it doesn't work, but probably 100 bucks if you're just testing. This number is not going to be sexy because you're not risking much, but it's doable. We're just testing right now. So that's how that feature works. I'm going to scroll down.
So real quick,
Uh-huh.
I set mine up and it just took a trade. It did not do the multiple arrow thing.
I wonder if it has to do with how it's relaying information at the candle close then, because it's got to be something to do with that. That wasn't happening before.
No. So, and then just I'm sitting there watching it. So it took the trade. It went to like $16 profit. Did not close the trade, and now it's $72 in the negative.
Is your trail on?
Yeah.
Oh, how much trail?
0.25.
Yeah.
Did you did you redo the alert after you changed that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm guessing that he would have to redo it to make it work at this very time to test it. Remember, not all trades. I'm guessing you use like the 1 minute or something to force a trade.
On the time frame, 2 minutes.
No.
Oh,
We arbitrarily picked a time like 10:36 or something and was like, cool, let's see if it works. But we'll go take a look at that. Let me finish going through all this. Enable ATR trailing stop. This is functioning even if it's clicked off. So basically it is always trailing, and that has to do with how the stop loss is built in right now. That will be fixed on the next edition. Again, some of the stuff we took 3 steps forward to get version 2 out, and now we took 3 steps back, and that's just part of developing. So either way, keep this small. We have data that says making it higher is not conducive to long-term results, including the profit factor and the accuracy. So I like mine pretty tight. Which means it would go to say if our trail is tight, we'd also want to be knocked out in profit tightly too. Like that would go hand in hand because we don't want to always be out with this, preferably as again we finish building, but that's where we're at there. The rest of the stuff, not super important right now. And then of course, last but not least, we've got, let's try. Okay. I don't know.
it's
I
being
thought
slow, isn't it?
it is. Properties, there you go.
I assume if
Um,
you have a trade on candle close on inputs turned on, you should also have it on under properties and vice versa.
No, we just talked about that, Robert.
Okay. I mean, I'll go back and watch it.
No. Remember, this is really going to be mostly the exits, but right now I think that trade on candle close and the other one is buggy.
If you want, I could send some of the links to my Google Drive showing the trades that are recorded, and the developer can take a look at them if he wants.
All right, awesome. Yes.
And also, I also hover over each alert as it comes up so you can see the details in the actual alert as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay. So let's see. We can get this. But that's that. So that's all the settings to help Robert, the other Robert, or who in the chat. I'd have to go to participants. That's all the settings stuff. Cool. So now you've got the settings stuff. I'm very excited. We're still getting out some glitchy stuff. We've got a lot of options. We wanted it very customizable. But now, John, let's see you. You scheduled it. Well, yeah, because it tried to buy and then it tanked. Were you on MNQ or gold?
Gold MGCZ 225.
I was like, yeah, it looks like it broke out and was like tank.
Yeah. And then it just because I set it to go from like I set it for 10:30, 11:30, so I could watch it. So I watched it take the trade and it went up and it was up like $24 and then it reversed.
So this is, and then it closed. This is that
Yeah.
was up this much, and it closed in here.
Yeah, and then it went back up too, and now it's going down. And it just bought.
Yeah, yeah. I had a sale at 10:30, and it actually made $47, but my settings are whacked, so I need to go back and redo the back test the correct way.
You had a sell at 10:30.
Yeah, that's what I had. It
Yeah,
took a sell, went down, and that was like $24 profit, then went back up and took the 70 some dollar loss.
that's weird because mine closed at 47.32, but I think my ATR stop loss is different than your. I think mine's. Well, actually, I could look on my spreadsheet.
Yeah, what are you doing right now? Do you
Point
have it set up?
0.52 was my ATR stop.
Well, ours is
And,
smaller. Hold
and
on.
it just took a buy on the second candle going down.
Hold on.
Yeah,
So
Robert, our ATR is smaller. So in
yeah,
theory,
his should have closed sooner than mine did. Yeah,
unless it's a connection, like I don't understand why that would not have closed. And we're sure we did all the settings. We're sure you don't have any of this stuff checked on, none of this stuff is checked, right?
no,
So Robert took the sell and it closed with the ATR trail, and you took the sell and it did not close with the ATR trail, and your ATR trail is smaller.
that's weird.
Hold on, I'm kind of curious of what this is going to say.
yeah,
Hold on. 10.
looking.
What brokers are you guys using?
Mine's going to Tradevate, but it's going through.
What broker?
Well, yeah, it's going straight to Tradevate. Yeah.
I know that, but what prop firm?
Oh, Apex.
Apex. What prop firm are you using, John?
Tradeify.
Tradeify has a lower, less fill rate. That I know for sure. So like on the trades I took this morning, every other broker is up X amount. They're up $20 less than that. Tradeify has a more delayed fill, by a decent chunk, like honest to God. And that's not because of this automation built, but as opposed to Take Profit Trader and Apex, et cetera, which is funny because when we start to code for NinjaTrader, Apex is the one that has problems coding on NinjaTrader because Apex doesn't allow their live data on micros is weak, for Apex particularly. So this is stuff we learn long term, but yeah, gotcha.
Can I ask you what his entry price shows?
You're going to ask me?
Yeah, your entry
You tell
price
me
on that
where to
sale.
find it, and I'll gladly tell you what it is.
If you're using TradingView, you could just hover over the little triangle, or you could like put a line straight through the middle of the triangle, and it'd be over to the right.
Like where it bought or sold.
No, where you sold. Yeah, it's a little red triangle.
3728.5.
Yeah, that's close. Mine's 3729.6. So it's not like it's too far off. Of course, mine did enter a little bit sooner than yours did, so there'd been a little bit of profit, but that shouldn't matter with what we're talking about.
It has like, of course, when on the candle above it, it has the arrows and has short signal -2. And then
Oh
below that
yeah,
says
no,
the
the one
breakout
the
exit
little
is +2.
Yeah, the little red triangle there, it looks like it's pointing to the left. It'd be probably right on top of that bar.
Yeah, 3728.8.
Either way, you should have been in profit because, yeah, I think Jenny will agree with me because your ATR stop loss is lower than mine. You still ended up in some kind of profit.
So wait,
And
I don't have trade on can activate breakout trade. Hold on. Trade on can no close.
the reason I was asking him to look at trading view, because that way we're comparing the same thing instead of looking at two different prompts. We're looking at the actual chart.
How much is your guys' buffer?
0.15.
I have nothing. On the zone buffer adjustment,
Uh-huh.
nothing.
Ah, that could be part of it. But still, I mean, his entry's close to mine. He still should have been in some kind of profit.
So 0.
I haven't changed anything since Joe helped me set it up, except for the top. Not blaming Joe, but I don't know what half the stuff does
Now,
anyway. So I just
you
stay
not
away
having
from
an
it.
ATR buffer would explain why my entry price was a little bit different than yours, and Jenny may agree with me, but the fact that you had a shorter, almost half as much of an ATR stop loss as me, you still should have had some kind of profit, I would think.
Yeah. Well, here, so what was your guys' entry time? Because you guys
Um,
had this at 9:30. This is, oh, sorry, 10:30.
Mine was a 1032 candle.
Mine says right at 10:30 on the dot.
That's
And it
what's
sorry,
Because there
exited
was
four
one,
minutes
two,
later. It
three,
exited.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh candle down is where mine sold.
Yeah, mine exited at 10:34, almost 10:35. I look at a Trezella data.
See, because this one has this candle closed. So we entered on this candle and we exited. So breakout sell. We exited on this candle.
So mine sold on the 1032 candle, and or for the sell, and then when it closed the trade, it was on the 1036 candle.
So 10:32, this is when it sold. Toward the beginning or the,
It was still inside the trading zone.
His is almost 2 minutes off or different than mine, almost exactly.
but so is yours targeting the minutes before or the minutes after, Robert? It's like, are you targeting 28?
I don't know what you had to rephrase the question. I mean,
I,
it's set for 10. The
I'm
time
going to say that mine sold on candle close of the 1030 candle.
Oh, wait a minute. You have your box set at 10 a.m.?
mine,
Me,
yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Mine set
okay.
at 10:30. Mine set at 10:30.
That may be different then. Mine set at 10 and it didn't pick it up until 10:30.
So yours is set at 10 and it's at a 5-minute range or a 2-minute range?
5 on mine.
That makes more sense of what that
Yeah,
difference is. Okay, I was like, none of this is tracking. So the 10 a.m. time, so you got to think, so this is 10 a.m.
that makes sense why he didn't get it at 10:30 because he just set it for 10:30.
So you entered here as we broke out, and that was plenty of a range. That was more room of a range. His was set to the smaller time frame and also a different breakout range because this is what
Yeah.
yours looks like, Robert. I was like, I'm not tracking this, you guys. Hold on. I I just want to understand. So again, none of it's perfect. We're still in testing mode, but this is our 10 a.m. This is MGC. This is 5-minute. Um, there should be enough risk. I don't know why it's weird. I'm guessing at some point you took a buy. Did this buy close in profit or break even or loss?
Let me back up. Yeah, I had a buy before that I made 27, just over $27 on that one. and that was at 3706, almost 3707.
As we're testing this and figuring this out, guys, you guys get to be part of the process, which is burdensome, I know, in some ways, but it's also you guys have complete control over your financial future, and it's kind of awesome. So you get to be part of the all of it. I will say this, on that tinier time frame, the ATR is smaller. So this is gold. That's a four, what is that, points? Okay. On the 2 minute, that's half the size. So now you're trying to close out with trades that are 2 points. Okay. That ATR is tiny. And even just to eat the fees on the 2 minute as opposed to the five. Now, granted, if I pull this up, because again, data, we've got a lot of data here. This is the 5 minute. This goes down, but this is doable. This, well, the 250 per risk is, that's not, as I want this lower than that. When I go to build for real, I'm trying to keep this less than 1,000. That's how much I'm allowed to risk, but that's how I'm going to quantify, just so you guys know long term. But our goal is to keep this above 1. Watch what happens. This is going to show us on the 2 minute that, there we go. This is higher. Actually, I'm surprised.
Oh, that makes sense. If it's like a 0.25 ATR stop loss on 2 minutes, going to be different than it is on 5 minutes.
And likely it's not even
Yeah.
enough to activate. So likely it's not even enough to be in the green to activate, and or not, it's definitely not enough to cover the fees. So I don't know if you guys have this built in, but something you can do is go to properties, go right here where it says fees, and just say 50, I'm gonna say 55 cents per contract. So this is gonna make this a lot less sexy, but it's gonna make it, it's really gonna set some reality into it.
I was going to say, make it more realistic. That's what
Yes.
matters.
Yes, 100%. So now look, your profitable trades is still above 60, you're still above 1, and this is realistic. This is where you're going to end up landing after fees.
Is that
Yeah,
under
so
commission? I didn't see it.
Order filled. What is that? Hold on, 0.5. So depending on what broker or platform you're using, 0.5 is about what NQ is at,
0.5.
MNQ. 0.5.
Oops, wrong one.
I'll
And
take
that's per contract or order?
per contract.
Contract. Yeah.
Oh, well, you can play with it different ways. It's going to really dumb this down quite a bit. I'm actually kind of surprised to see how much better MNQ.
Because if it's per order, it'll be the same regards to 1, 2, 3, or 4 contracts where you need to have it under contract to be accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Update report. Hold on. There you go. We like. But yeah, this is what we're working on. This is what we're building. I will update my alerts again now without that candle close feature on. If you're back testing, this matters. It'll just help bring it down into reality. If not, you just want to see what's possible, you can keep it turned off. I'm going to change this back to 20. I like those times. MNQ.
so
There we go. Baby steps. But okay, if you guys have comments, questions, if you're testing this, okay, we're really testing the function of each feature right now, because again, we kind of built heavy. As we get everything wrapped up, we've got something that is sustainable, that is profitable, and profitable. That's it. That's all we're trying to accomplish. But slow and steady. So any comments, questions, things you guys want to go over? Wait until we get the other strategies built into this. Like, we got some work to do on the backbones. Please tell me I didn't break that. Oh, there you go. Boom.
Yeah,
But
I know I'm not the only one that's ever accidentally hit a keystroke and completely messed stuff up and not realize what I did.
well, guys, also keep in mind on your Tradeovate, you guys can log in and put your max daily loss and stuff in there too, just to, protect you. Eventually, this is gonna, and I'm gonna always say you should do that anyways. Oh, 100% do that anyways. And let's go. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I like it. I like overnight because it means I can make money while I'm sleeping. And what is it? Who was it? Somebody was like, if you can't make money while you're sleeping, if you can't figure out how to make money while you're sleeping, then you're gonna be broke forever. Something like that. I don't remember whose quote it was, Warren Buffett's or someone.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I thought it was Warren Buffett, but I was picturing Rich Dad Poor Dad's voice, one of his like lessons saying it, and I couldn't give him credit because I know it wasn't his. I thought it was Warren Buffett's. But I was picturing Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, the dude that's selling silver all the time.
He is now, yeah. Wasn't he first into his real estate? It was,
The state.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Warren Buffett. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
that, and that's it.
Probably true.
There you go. So all we're now the problem is, guys, is to not get turned on too much by the exuberance of $5,000. Okay, it's nice to make 5%, but no one wants 5% if it's giving you gray hairs. Okay, we just need a little bit. 0.25% per risk per on these prop firms is more than enough. We don't need much. So yeah, especially not with how much capital we have access to. We have access to a lot of capital, a lot of capital. Oh, oh,
And I have a question.
coming out.
So can you have like this automated one? And how do you get another trading view? You have to subscribe to more to have a different chart?
Um, like as in like you want to share it with a friend or your wife or
No, I want to like manual trade on just use the breakout indicator to manually trade without this, or just set it to when you're not.
so I would personally, I would come in here and I would create two templates personally. So like this one is my all the stuff we're building and testing, right? I would have like an automated template that I set on a time frame. I set up my alerts and then I close it. And then like for classes, I have this one, right? For all like if I want all the information like the midnight open and the fair value gaps and everything, I load this up, right? I have lots of options of how to do that. So I personally would create a template that has just your automation on it, set it to a time frame and an instrument, set your alert, save it, and then close. And then come over here and I would go to create new layout, right? Create a whole nother one that maybe just has the breakout or an EMA or like whatever else it is you want to trade with and do it that way. That's how you do it.
Okay.
That's exactly how have mine set up. Because the automated one always works in the background, and I'll have the manual one up and trade manually while the other one keeps working.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Okay.
Can we have that in a little? Well, I'll watch the whole video. I'll watch it here.
Uh,
Yeah, I was wondering that same question though, but I was just going to do a different broker,
oh,
so that makes it easier.
yeah, don't do like your broker on here is not the topic, but Robert
But
Robert Lyons, can I just call you Lyons?
sure.
Okay, well here's why I'm asking. We got a lot of Roberts, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Roberts. I don't know.
We're all broke and looking for a way out.
Robert, listen, Robert, I honestly feel like that was negative. What I was gonna say is I think you guys are all just destined to be not trading. It's
It was
okay.
a joke.
I'm trying to catch up with the other Roberts. That's all. That's
All right, awesome. Well,
Eh,
Robert Lyons, I'm excited to see what you got. It's gonna be a lot. Please plan on it failing for a while. In here, I know it's the horrible sales pitch, but here's the truth. What we're doing is we're taking this data, we're saying, hey, look, this is possible. And this, as you know, is not the best. I've got some that are like $250,000 over a year's period, obviously risking about 250 per trade, but we're working on making sure this all functions the way it needs to function so we can achieve even half of this. If we fail at this by 50%, but you can print 6K a month, per three accounts or 6K, every quarter for three accounts, that's a lot of money. So just keeping it real 100%. So I'm excited to see if you have questions, comments, there's a whole automated channel on Discord. And of course, you can put it in the members chat or the public chat. Any of those chat rooms are totally fine. And we're here to help. But any feedback is helpful because it's going to help us get to the bottom of it. And my developer and we talked yesterday is the bones of all of this is the main piece. Breakout's the easy part, right? We're going to take those bones and we're applying those same bones to JGS with a couple of really good filters. We're applying those same bones to some imbalances, AKA fair value gaps, right? We're applying those same bones to 50% retracements. So I'm going to go to NQ, turn this off. We know that 50% moves, is a huge deal, but there's a lot of traders who trade that way, right? We're applying those same bones to catch quite a few different strategies and implementations. So quite a few different models. We just need the bones to work properly and as defined, and then we're going to plug in quite a few strategies that in theory you will have a complete automated system that can do everything, and we'll get it onto MT5 and then also onto trade a Ninja Trader. So
I can't wait till it gets
Love
on
it.
Ninja Trader. Their back testing's a lot better.
you think their back testing is better than this?
From what I've read and the few times I've used it, yeah.
Huh.
Because even if you just like do a bar replay, it actually does it like it's for real instead of skipping around and stuff.
Doesn't Ninja Trader also have the only closes on will only manage on closed bars and their
I don't
replay?
know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, but that if not, that would make it better. But if it does allow you to manage on open bars, which I don't know that it does, then it makes it better. If not, then it's this.
I'm willing to bet somebody's creating an add-on for it to work that way somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see. But all right, guys, we got our couple of trades in. My ES is still up, 25 points. So on ES, that's not bad at all. And that's something I took kind of pre-market, 15-minute JGS. It just beautiful setup, clean, easy, no stress. Had broken a trend line. We had our JGS symbol entry, kind of just literally the perfect trade, the perfect storm. Knew that I'd be targeting at least into this area. We officially broke that area as well as yesterday's closing price. So now we're moving down. So I think we got quite a few beautiful targets kind of to be targeting to the downside, right on the direction, tight on the management. And I'm learning how to be okay with the tight on the management speech just because it's not worth giving it back 100 times, okay? In real time, this is like, it's annoying. So that's that. Happy trading. I will be back live tomorrow. Come hang out, bring a friend, like, comment, subscribe, go to the website, do all the things that help us get in front of more people. Thank you for being here. Happy trading. Take care.